So I want to kind of circle back. Of course, I was planning on asking you about balancing home life and work life. And I love what you said about um, the two have to kind of be integrated. They kind of have to complement each other, not necessarily be a balance, but sort of, I guess, be synergistic in a way.
Yes,
Um,
that's a great word.
how did you learn that lesson? How, like, tell us about your journey as a business owner and, or a little more, I should say.
I learned it from a personal experience. And this is working a 9 to 5, and medical situation arose. I have a medical condition. And I knew something was happening in my body. Again, that's going back being in tune to your body. And I've seen my mother go through things, and my mother was wise enough to say to me, hey, if you start to note, if you're anything like me, if you start to notice these things, pay attention to them and talk to your doctor. So things were happening. I felt them. And at the time, my first doctor, who knew my mother, who worked with my mother, had passed away. So I had to go and see a new doctor. And I went to the new doctor and I said, hey, I think something's happening. I think this is what it is. Can you just check? And the doctor was like, how could you possibly know? And I
Mm.
said, I'm feeling something in my body. Can you please just do this assessment? Can you do this check? Well, his comeback was, well, you're going to have to pay for this. I don't know if your insurance. I said, well, it's not your insurance. It's not your money. So either you do it or I can ask someone else to do it. But I made this appointment today to get this done. And if it's nothing going on, then great. I can walk away and not worry about it. But if it is, I'm being proactive. Now, are you going to be proactive with me or not? Because this is my body, it's not your body.
Good for
And
you. How condescending.
it was.
Jeez.
And when they did the test, guess what? It was
You
what
were
I thought it
right.
was.
Yeah.
Yeah. And he looked at me. He was like, how could you possibly know? And I said, didn't I say I know my body? Didn't I say that? And then he still wanted to push back and say, well, we're going to wait. We're going to wait 30 days to see how it's going to work. And I said, okay, doc, it's not going to change. If anything, is possibly going to get worse. I've been through this before. I didn't make it 30 days. And I had to have emergency surgery.
Oh.
And when I went in to be operated on, they saw something else. And they had to talk to my husband, get another doctor in to operate on me. So after I was done, they told me in the recovery room what went down, what happened. And then certain things still wasn't right afterwards. In when I'm in the hospital, I'm like, why did you remove a bandage the day after operation? The last time I stayed bandaged up in the hospital. Needless to say, I went home in staples for a week. Fever was running high. I called the hospital because on the notes it says, hey, if you're running a fever over this amount, call the emergency room. I called them. They were like, I'll just take this. And I said, or talk to your doctor. But then why does it say on the paperwork to call you guys? So a week later, I'm literally gray. I've lost all color. I go into the doctor's office. I don't even see the doctor who operated on me. He's removing his staples, and something happens. And they had to open me back up in the doctor's
Oh my
office.
goodness.
No drugs, no, no
Oh
nothing. I was like, "Are you gonna
no.
give me something?" They're like, "No, we can't." And
Oh.
so I ended up having to go to a specialist every single day. My husband would have to take me to this place every single day before he went to work. And then when I get back to work after 6 weeks of being out of work, positions were being cut left and right. And my director said to me over the phone, she was like, "Well, I don't know if I can really go to bat for you because you've been out of work so much." And I said, well, it's a good thing that I took care of my health first
Yeah.
because my husband would be a widower. My parents would no longer have a daughter if I did not listen. So if I have to lose my position because I took care of my health first, then so be it. But you nor anyone else will make me feel ashamed for taking care of myself and looking after myself. And that was a valuable lesson for me in life and in business. If you do not keep your cup full and you're always trying to give what's in your cup, you have nothing left for yourself. And then there's not always a guarantee that someone else is going to pour back into you. So literally, whatever's overflowing from my cup, like Iyanla Van Zant says, whatever's overflowing from my cup, that's what you'll get. But you will never take what's in my cup. So that's the lesson that I learned. And it's really been a driving force in my business for me.